Alright, hey guys, Fiddleferret here, and welcome back to a new episode of Celestial Crossing. What's happening on the screen? Was that doing that the last time we were here? I'm not really sure, but I feel like it wasn't. Maybe it was. Anyway, as I'm sure you all are wondering if you watched the last episode, I have a Steam key to give away to this wonderful game. And so, I'll go through some of my honorable mentions. There were some pretty good ones. One of the ones was from Maxis, who gave me one in a different language, which props for being original. It was in Polish, and I'm just going to assume it was probably the funniest one, but unfortunately, I don't know that. There are some other good ones on here. Let me scroll through. You'd think I would have set these up beforehand, but I didn't. This one was kind of cute, from Ryan. Still knock knock, who's there? Steam key who? Steam key for me. I mean, it was cute, but it's probably not going to cut it for you, my friend. But yeah, there was just some good ones in general. I could go through here. I meant to actually write down the ones that were my favorite. This one was pretty good, from Probably Something. It was knock knock, who's there? A broken pencil? A broken pencil who? Never mind, it's pointless. Get it, guys? Because it's a pencil? Oh, good times. Good times. But, obviously, I did have to pick a winner. And so let me, where'd my winner go? Oh, no! My winner's on here somewhere. I promise. I know I picked one. Well, this is highly professional. If I do say... Oh, here we go. So the winner... for the Steam key is Rebecca's Main. And so we have knock knock, who's there? Do you want two CDs? Do you want two CDs who? Do you want two CDs nuts? Ha! Got him! That is one of my favorite video clips ever. So, Rebecca did a good job. You tickled my funny bone. There's just... these nuts is never not funny. So I will be sending you a Steam key. Thank you all so much for commenting. Keep an eye out on other visual novels and other games. I'll probably do more giveaways like this from people who watch my videos, so keep an eye out. Anyway, guys, it's been too long. I should have prepared that better. But anyway, here we are, back in the game. Then, once everyone is sitting and Agano-sensei enters, I hear Nerith chant something under her breath next to me. I feel like this is wrong? Anyway, nothing flashy happens. The teacher blinks a few times as if trying to shake off a dream, but none of the other students seem to notice. One moment everyone's looking over at us, wondering who the tall, strange-looking new girl is, and the next, Agano-sensei is at the front of the class introducing her to us.
Everyone, welcome our newest student, Nerith-san. Would you like to say anything to your new classmates?
No.
Okay. My head whips toward her. What kind of spell did she cast?
All right then. Everyone, turn to your calculus assignment from yesterday.
Ugh, calculus is gross. Hate calculus. I hardly dared to believe what's just happened. Racking my brain, I tried to think back on what spells Nerith had in the game and figure out which one of them could possibly do this. Maybe a basic mind control charm with an area effect radius large enough to encompass the whole classroom? Whatever the weird spell was, it seems that Agano-sensei has fallen for it completely. For the next few hours, she doesn't question anything about having to do with Nerith's presence or call attention to her insanely purple-tinted skin, which I'm fairly certain goes against school policy. Everything is fine. I almost start to believe that the situation worked out when something dangerous happens. Nerith gets bored.
Please come to the board and solve this equation, Nerith-san.
Sure, my ass is falling asleep anyway.
She gets up, making a show of stretching out her limbs thoroughly first, and utterly ignores the shocking murmurs from the rest of the class. Kami Does Nerith's spell not extend to the students? Or was the casual profanity too much to keep the combined incredulity under her control? She sashays, that's a good word, up to the board and proceeds to draw a picture of an ogre exploding in the space provided to solve the equation. My eyes start to twitch around the time she adds a tiny stick version of herself in the background, waving her sword at the ogre. The class goes completely silent.
Excellent work, Nerith-san. You can have a seat.
Wow, can I have privy to the spell? Because, God, that would have been useful.
Are you joking with us, Sensei?
We've got a guy voice. Someone in the second row from the front finally breaks his silence with his indignant shriek. Even as I sink back into my chair with dread, I kind of can't blame him.
Are you still having trouble understanding the equation, Yamaguchi-san? If so, you can stay after class today and join the study group.
Yamachi sputters. Apparently his agitation is so great he can't even speak. The confused grumblings don't end there, and similar outbursts occur every time Agano calls on Nerith for an answer. The elf finds all this hilarious, of course, and amuses herself by coming up with the most ridiculous responses possible right up until lunchtime.
We should have done this right from the start, useless. This school thing is hysterical.
I mean, I would be game for it. It sounds like fun to me, better than normal school.
I mean, that shit with the numbers and different languages was pretty stupid, but I managed to liven things up.
She smirks and laughs, looking at me expectantly. Yeah, thanks for that. It's not like we really needed to know any of that stuff for exams or anything. Luckily, the sarcasm seems to fly right over the elf's head as she happily digs into the bag of yakisoba bread we bought on the way to school this morning. She sniffs at her stuffed bread curiously for a moment before clearly finding the scent appealing enough to take a bite.
Holy shit, that's amazing! What the hell have I been eating before this?
Her happy moan of delight attracts attention, and I fight the urge to cover my face in embarrassment. It's also distracting enough that I don't notice Yamachi and his two friends wander up until they're leaning over our desks.
So did you show up just to play some kind of weird prank on the school?
Aw, shit, son. He looks tiny compared to Nerith, which I guess is kind of true. They look pretty pissed, though none of them come close enough to looking completely outraged as Nerith when she realizes her delicious meal is being interrupted.
Are you talking to me?
Aw, shit, son. This could probably end poorly.
Yeah. I don't know how you got Agano-sensei in on the joke, but you need to quit. It's wasting everyone's time.
I mean, since when does a thug actually care about school? This is interesting. Usually, he's like, yo, man, you're interrupting my studies, yo. I need to learn this, bruh. I start to sweat. That suddenly eager look on Nerith's face can't be a sign of anything good to come. Especially since Nerith's idea of a good time typically includes bloody disembowelment. Clueless as to just how close he is to death right now, Yamaguchi's frown turns into a nasty taunting sneer.
And what's with the body paint and ears? Who comes to school looking so stupid? Do you think you're a fairy princess or something?
Oh no. Oh no.
Fucking what?
Oh, you done fucked up, son. You done fucked up. You dead. Do we have the option to let her kill him? Because that's okay with me. I have exactly 2 seconds to react before Nerith stomps his ass into the ground. Tried to calm everyone down. Show that you have Nerith back. Alright, so the thing is, I wish I knew how long this game was. Because I almost really wouldn't mind at this point playing through a bunch of the story arcs, because I'm actually interested, honestly, in all of the characters. I think at this point, I'm just going to stick with Nerith. Just because I think she feels like the protagonist, the main protagonist anyway of the game. So I think we'll probably go after her first. Supposedly you can go after the teacher, which I am always inclined to go after the teacher. It's my favorite pastime. But I think maybe we'll save that for later. I take a steady breath before standing up and meeting Yamaguchi's gaze evenly. After staring down at the enraged elven warlock on more than one occasion, making eye contact with another 18-year-old is a lot less frightening than it would have been a week ago. Could you knock it off? It's not like one day. He punches, his punch comes out of nowhere.
What the fuck?
Stars swim in front of my eyes, making it impossible to see anything. The minute of blindness that follows feels like the longest one of my life, but my vision does eventually come back. It's not clear what exactly she did to them in that scant second, but when I finally see again, Yamaguchi and his friends are laid out. Aw, shit. They're not even conscious, which is concerning, but I cling to the belief that she wouldn't just outright murder the idiots.
Let me see that.
Grabbing my chin and forcing my face toward her, Nerith looks me over critically. There is screaming and crying in the background as the rest of the class clearly tries to work out what just happened. A few even threaten to bring the school administrators.
That's going to be a nasty bruise tomorrow.
She has a glimmer of something in her eye that I've never seen from her before. Pride? Flustered, I shake off her hand and try to ignore the tenderness of the rising welt on my face. What are we going to do with the rest of these guys?
Oh yeah, that. Leave it to me.
She closes her eyes and begins a low, resonant chanting. Ooh. She likes us. I don't know if she likes us yet, but we're getting there. In the space between heartbeats, the same static prickle from earlier teases at the surface of my skin. And then, all of a sudden, the girl's still screaming, only now they're screaming that Yamaguchi and his friends are fighting each other, and I was apparently an innocent casualty who got hurt when I tried to stop them. I glance over at Nerith, who was once again calmly munching on some yakisoba bread.
Nice job, hero.
I blush under the faint praise and try not to cradle my throbbing injury like a wimp. Nerith is still watching, so I gladly pick up a piece of bread and eat.
Maybe you're not a lost cause after all.
I mean, I can try sometimes. All he needed was an existential person from another universe to make his decisions for him, and he's all of a sudden a pretty cool guy. Huh?
I mean, I thought I had you figured out, but you managed to surprise me. Maybe you do have a little backbone after all.
He doesn't really. It's just me now, making all his decisions for him.
Enough for me to work with, at least.
Work with? On what? My stomach turns with uneasiness. What kind of scheme is she planning now? As if reading my mind, Nerith rolls her eyes.
Oh, level you up, make you a badass, and maybe help you talk to that girl of yours. She was pretty cute.
Huh? The noise that comes out of my mouth is somewhere between a squawk and a croak. Nerith bursts out in laughter, thumping a friendly hand against my back in a way that makes my eyes water.
Helping you become manlier could be a fun way to pass the time. Don't you think, Useless?
I mean, that doesn't sound like a bad plan. Back to Useless, huh? Hero was short-lived. I guess.
Good.
She suddenly lets out a huge yawn.
Now let me sleep. I've got to get my energy back from that spell, especially if we're going to start training tomorrow.
Decision seemingly made without any input from me, she settles down on her desk, crossing her arms over her face before resting her head on them. The thought of sleeping the rest of the day away peacefully is almost too much to hope for, so I try not to do anything that might change her mind. After lunch, several school administrators show up to take the alleged troublemakers away. Everyone is perfectly convinced that the incident had nothing to do with me. I had nothing to do with Nerith. I watch the boys get taken away and wonder for just a minute how powerful her magic is here in the real world. Not that I've seen the full extent. Her spells don't look like anything from the game. Could her powers be beyond the scope of Celestial Crossing? The thought that she could possibly turn me into a turnip if she wanted to crosses my mind more than once as I settle in for a blessedly uneventful afternoon. I don't sleep very well the next night. My jaw is so sore and bruised that it gives me a migraine. I toss and turn on the couch, trying to get to a more comfortable position, drifting in and out of sleep until finally at 4 in the morning I can't do it anymore. I get up and make my way to the bathroom. Soaking in the warm water eases the headache slightly, but I'm still not feeling completely alert when I open the door to find Nerith waiting for me in the hall. She's already dressed in her school uniform, which is odd, but not alarming enough to fully distract me from the throbbing pain behind my eyeballs. Nerith, you're up early.
Did you expect me to forget my promise?
Oh no, we're training. No, I want to go back to bed, please. It takes me my foggy brain a minute to catch up, but eventually I remember her words from the previous day. You want to start right now? Today. She takes a second to stretch out her shoulders and motion that I should do the same. Her answer doesn't come until she's satisfied that I'm copying her to the best of my ability.
Why not start today?
Gee, Nerith, maybe because my skull feels like it might be slitting in half. The more we do these stupid stretches, I glower at her silently instead of voicing my thoughts out loud. I'm in a bad mood, but I'm not quite suicidal yet. She either doesn't notice the strain or doesn't find it worthy commenting on.
I figure since you showed you actually had some guts the other day, we could start by working on your form.
My form?
Don't make me repeat myself, useless. Now copy my stance.
Nerith bends her knees and lowers her center of gravity before raising her fists in front of her, one slightly higher than the other. Clumsily, I mimic her.
You want to turn your hips to the side a bit and bend your knees even more. Good. Now hit me.
I gasp, straightening in surprise. Hit you? You mean throw a punch? I mean, right now? I'm not even sure how I should... Her utterly implacable expression silences me.
Hit me with everything you've got, useless. Now!
We are totally breaking our hand right now. Ask her the proper technique works. Boom! Swing! I'm overthinking this, I realize. My pounding headache resurfaces and further convinces me that following Nerith's instructions without argument or analysis seems the best way to go. Mind made up, I screw up my courage and tap my fist against the elf's shoulder, which is the safest looking target I see. She stares at me in disbelief.
What the fuck was that?
A punch? She mutters something in Elvish, but obviously comes around to show me what I'm doing wrong. I get the sense that she's... Oh, maybe we should have gone with the other one. That she's giving me credit for attempting the exercise at the very least. We practice for the better part of an hour, and then finally I have to beg for a break. Nerith nods briskly, to my pleasant surprise.
Yeah, you should probably hop in the bath if we want to make it to school on time.
I can't help but notice that she obviously hasn't broken a sweat at all. It's a little insulting how completely unruffled she is, given the amount of effort I put into our session. Still, I can't deny that the workout has made me feel a little bit better about myself. I rush through the morning routine, and in a show of gratitude, I buy some extra yakisoba bread for Nerith on the way to school. Alright, I think that's probably going to about do it for this episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you back on the prowl next time.